Hello, my name is Chupacabra, and today we're going to be play-by-playing the 10th race of the NAFCAR season, the Meteor. This will wrap up the first quarter of the NAFCAR season, and I'm super excited for what I have coming next. We're going to have a full compilation video featuring the 10 tracks, and we'll be doing a comparison video going over the first 10 races. I'm so glad to be finally done with the first quarter of the season. As we start going through these next few races, they are going to get tougher and tougher. So if you're looking for that real challenge that you haven't quite seen in these first 10 races, stay tuned because we are going to have some pretty tough tracks. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. And please hit that like and subscribe button and share these with your friends. You can easily team up with somebody and conquer these tracks and have a really fun time. Alright, so once again, thank you for your support. Let's get into the NAFCAR track facts. The name of this course is the Meteor, and there's 3 share codes associated with the event, and we'll circle around and tackle these in a moment. The track style is circuit, in which we will make 5 laps around. Track motif is paved road. 100% of this course will be done on paved road. Starting location is Emerald Circuit, and the entire course length is 3.3 miles. The entire total racing distance today will be 16.5 miles or 5 laps. Tire wear is rated a 3 out of 5, which means you should expect to use anywhere between 50 and 70% of your tires. Damage wear is rated a 1 out of 5, so you should accrue no natural damage throughout the course of the event. AI bots are rated a 5 out of 5, which means they handle this track perfectly, and this track should take you about 9 minutes to complete 5 laps. With all these things in consideration, we give this a difficulty rating, and this course comes in at a 2 out of 5, which means it should be easy to most Forza Horizon 5 players. So now, let's talk about the share codes. For this course, it doesn't matter whether you have damage on or off, what matters is the type of car you are driving. If you're using an S1 Super Saloon, go ahead and use that share code in brackets. This is the official NAFCAR race we use throughout the season. If you're using any other car class or car type, go ahead and use the other 2 share codes. The share codes in stars is the full event, and the share code in pound signs is a 2-lap sampler. These 2 codes are set to open class, so you can use whatever you want. Alright, let's jump into the play-by-play analysis of the Meteor. Alright, so as I said, this course is called the Meteor, and it's the 10th race of the NAFCAR season. This track can be divided into 3 sections. The first section is a super slow, turny section. The next section's intermediate, it's got some turns and some straight line speed, and then section 3 is just going as fast as you can in basically a straight line. So you're going to want to build a car to fit all 3 of these aspects. As you just saw, I barely made that checkpoint, and I'm going to talk about this here more in a second. So right now we're making our way through section 1. As you can see, it's super slow and it's full of these back and forth switches. It's important to take your time coming through here, as if you do go off the road, chances are you're going to hit one of these side objects and it's going to completely destroy your car. We have a small straightaway here, and it's important to set up these next few turns. I call these next few turns the steps. They are extremely tight left and right hand turns. You want to be the car on the inside of each one of these turns, but a lot of times it's impossible, as you're going to have somebody next to you and you're going to flip the inside. They might have the inside, and then once again you're going to get the inside. So it's important to set up these turns, that way you can outbrake your opponent and stay in front of them or have the preferred line through that entire area. This part coming through here is section 2. Section 2 started at that hard left-hand turn right after those steps. As you can see, this is a lot faster, as we touched 165 miles per hour coming through the fastest part of section 2. This is a good area to pass anybody who might not have a car that accelerates super fast, while still going slow enough to make these final turns before we enter section 3. This hard right-hand turn is going to mark the start of section 3. Section 3 is all about going as fast as you can. I'm going to try to build speed by drafting off the car in front of me and slingshotting around him. So when you build your car, it's important to build an incredibly fast vehicle that will also be slow enough and have good enough handling to handle both sections 1 and 2. As you can see, I'm still gaining. I'm going to slingshot around that bot, and then we're going to begin section 1. Now this part right here is super important. Basically, you are coming off going about 200 miles per hour, and you're coming out into this very, very slow part of the track. Depending on how your car's set up, you can actually yard sale it all the way down to the first turn. It's all about when exactly you want to apply that brake and slow yourself down to about 100 miles per hour to make that first very slow turn. Sometimes it works and you can make an incredibly fast lap and pass a lot of people by doing that. Sometimes it doesn't and you fly off the road and flip and destroy your car. But at the end of the day, it's all about when you want to apply that brake to that vehicle you're driving. And it's also about risk and reward. A lot of these NAFCAR tracks are all about risk and reward. You really don't want to overdrive your vehicle because without having walls to bounce off of and keep you on the track, you'll have a bad time. Normally a lot of people play without damage on, and with a wall to protect them, you can just wall ride and you don't have to worry about it. But with NAFCAR sanctioned events and within the NAFCAR league, we play with that simulation damage on. And with tallyings of points and positions and determining a championship, you might be able to risk that section there, driving in as hard as you can, hitting brake in the last minute and saving yourself. But if you try to get the next lap, you'll slide off and you'll destroy your car and you'll end up finishing last place. But if you want to risk doing that 5 times and you really master the skill of braking that one section, then, chances are you're probably going to win most of the races on this track because a lot of people won't be able to do that 5 times. Now this part, starting my lap 3, I sent it in a lot further than I did last time. I like to brake a little bit right when you transition onto this road. So finally, let's circle around to my original mistake of almost missing that checkpoint. I'm so used to going through there at such a high speed that on my first pickup lap, I totally underestimated the steering. And it also shows how different these tracks are when you use different kind of cars going at different kinds of speeds. So NAFCAR is 100% all about how you build your car and how you want to race that car. Alright, so let's talk about tires in this track specifically. This track, tire wear is rated a 3 out of 5, which means you should use anywhere between 50 and 70% of your tires. Section 1 is where you're going to see a lot of your tire degradation, and this is because of the tight S-turns. You might be thinking, well, Chupa, that one track you had, Twin Bridges, well, that was full of S-turns too. How come in this track your tire wear is a lot greater than that track? Well, it's all about the angle and how hard you actually have to turn. The Twin Bridges S-turns, a lot of those you can make in a relatively straight line. These ones you actually have to arc the car in the direction you want to go, and it's going to put a lot more tire heat into your tires and then make them wear out a lot faster. On the Twin Bridges, your tires are kept at a constant temperature, whereas this track, Section 1, you're going to have a lot more heat in your tires because of the turn. Section 2, you can get a little bit of that tire temperature out just because of the straight line nature. And then Section 3, where you're going straight the entire time as fast as you can, that's where you're going to see your most tire cool off as they go back down into the operable range. Coming off Section 3, my tires are about 195 degrees, and now as we begin to take these turns here, they're around 200. Trying to make our way through these Section 1 turns. My tires are kept at a constant 200. Not really going anywhere. Not really sliding the tires. I have a small slide coming through here. Look how high my tires skyrocketed. It was about 220, and they have not gone below 210 since. This part here, you really want to take it easy because you do not want to put heat in those tires. You're going to wear them out super fast. We'll come through here, about 215. We haven't quite gotten it down. 230. Now, our tire temperature here will begin to fall, and we should fall back under that 200 range. Oh, that was a giant slide. Look how long it's taking me to get my tires down. If I went through there normally, my tire temperature right now would already be in the low or high 190s. Alright, we're making our way through the end of Section 2, just trying to keep that speed. Tire temperature about 200. We're going to slow it down. Slow it down right here, try not to slide, and then we're going to make our right-hand turn. I'd slide a little bit coming through there, we're about 220, but let's watch as the tire temperature will eke back down to the 190s. Just trying to pick up speed. I'm trying not to turn. I'm really trying to keep the heat out of those tires. If you go in a straight line, that's the quickest way to cool your tires down. By not using them, essentially. Alright, we're going to start hitting the brake. As I said, I like to tap that brake as we transition onto this road. Look how far I'm going in, hard brake, back down to 100 miles per hour. Look how high my tire temperature went. Higher temperature, more wear. Because of how high the tire wear is on this track, that's the reason why there's only 5 laps instead of 6. You notice most of my races either are 3 lap, 6 lap, or a trail event. For this course, I didn't want to turn it into a tire wear race, as we have plenty of races that are focused solely on tire wear. So that's why we only run 5 laps for this track. It makes it so that your tire wear should end just before that 70% mark, and where it actually becomes a part of NAFCAR racing strategy. This course, especially section 1, is incredibly difficult if you abuse your tires and they get over the 70% mark. It is just super hard to turn and make those turns, especially through the S curves, while staying on the road and trying to avoid the poles and whatnot on either side of you. I also feel that each race needs a unique identity, and the fact that this is only 5 laps makes it incredibly unique. The halfway point will be on the second lap. So once you complete the second lap, your bonus point will be rewarded to the driver who was in the lead at that time. Every other course, that bonus point is rewarded at the halfway mark. That's just some fun facts for everybody. This is the final lap, and we're on section 3, and we're going to go as fast as we can and try to make it through that checkpoint before anybody can pass us. Tap out at about 195, and that's it. That's all I have for the Meteor. Thank you everybody for their support. We are finally done with the first quarter of the season. Like I said, I'm going to do some special videos, try to work on them over the weekend, have them hopefully posted for next week. And then I'm going to make the blueprints, because I haven't made the next 5 blueprints yet. I have them all saved, I just got to make them. And then I'll be recording, and then we'll be releasing races 11 through 15, and these are some very special races to me. So I hope if you've liked what you've seen so far, you kind of stick around a little bit, because really, you have not seen anything to what I can build and the types of tracks that I can make. So thank you so much for your support, the 2 or 3 of you out there who actually have been paying attention to me and what I've been doing. I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, night, morning, day.